So you want to TIG weld. You've went through life MIG welding, stick welding, and you decided it was time to step up with the big boys. So you got yourself a Fronius iWave 230i. You started playing with it. You like the torch that's on it. It's pretty cool. It's really ergonomical. It's got a light on it. It's got a power on off. You can do 2T, 4T. You can even control your amperage directly from the torch. But you start welding roll cages. You get into some really weird spots and you're like, man, I really wish this thing was like flexible. Now, Fronius does offer a flex lock head, but it's not very ergonomical. It's really big and bulky. It's time to go to a CK. All right, so we've made the decision to get a CK flex lock torch. This torch is substantially more slender than the Fronius torch. You can only control it by the pedal, so that's, in some cases, that's a negative, but in 95% of the time, it has no effect on your ability to weld. This is a 25-foot torch. We got this from Michael Furick, furickcup.com. He hooked us up with both the 25-foot torch, liquid cooled to match our Fronius iWave, and also the CK adapter it DINS connects directly into the Fronius, and it's got the water cooled connections on it as well. We also got some Michael Furick cups. You can get everything from the BBWs. Check out another video. We went down to his shop and I welded up my own titanium bumper guards, or whatever he calls them. I'm sure there's a risque name, but these are really, really cool. He hooks you up with everything to do aluminum, steel, stainless. Gives you a bunch of different back caps, some tungstens, some spare diffusers, the whole nine. I didn't know how to install one of these before, so I just started looking at it, and it's actually extremely simple. So you've got 3 connections that you have to make. You got your black, which is your gas. You've got your red, which is your water out, and your blue, that's your water in. So we're going to take our CK adapter here. We have to bust this thing apart. So it's real simple. You just unthread the top off. Right there it says press here. It pops it up. Slide this unit out of the way. You're going to completely disassemble this down to bare. So this is the unit that has your water in, out, and your gas. So it's literally from here, it's just plug and play. You got your red. It's a different size, and it is left-hand thread. The way that you can tell left-hand thread versus right-hand thread on bolts or nuts or anything of the sort is left-hand thread will have a slot on the edge of every one of the hexes. So you take that guy and thread it in. I'm going to throw this in the vise for a second, so I got a third hand. And then grab my old speed wrench here. Mac Tools speed wrench, only the best. Give that a good snug. Take this dude back to the table. Then you've got a left-hand thread and a right-hand thread on your remaining fittings. You take, and it can only go on one way. In this scenario, the right-hand thread, or the left-hand thread, I'm sorry, is the cold, the water in. So we'll tighten that dude up. Give that a good snug pull. Then we can pull off all of our elastic and wrap this thing in a torch holder. But I'm gonna go ahead and stick it back in here actually before I do that. I lied to you. So you just wanna make sure you get your connections face towards this bulb here. That way your torch goes back together really well. You'll be able to tell it goes in by a nice positive click. Then you want to start by feeding that press here area down in first. Get it past your water line. And then it'll do the same thing. You'll get a nice positive click. Throw your nut back on. Give it a nice snug twist. And then you're ready to go. This thing's ready to put on the welder. Oh man, I messed up. I told y'all I was done, but I wasn't done. You know, somebody's gonna go back and look at the video and be like, man, look at this idiot. He didn't even freaking screw in his gas hose. You know, you're right. It's whatever, got a little overzealous, I'm sorry. All right, so don't forget to put your gas on. Otherwise, you're gonna strike an arc and that tungsten's gonna suck back up in there like you just saw the ugliest girl you've ever seen. Just saying. I might not use that. Ugly girls might not be happy. I got a really good looking wife, so she ain't gonna care. All right, good snug. Okay, now we can straighten this thing out. I probably jumped the gun a little bit. I probably should have straightened these things out before I started doing any of this. This thing's freaking long. 25 foot to be exact. Okay. Got this dude. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to bust this thing back apart and unravel it. One, it helps keep your stuff nice and clean, neat, tidy. It also saves it from any, you know, abrasions or anything, because this stuff's not cheap. You want to protect it. And also, we're just supporting our boy Michael Furick. All right, if you guys like this video, but you want to see some more about swapping over a Fronius iWave 230i to a CK worldwide torch, go check out the Fab Forums. We will put a link in the description. Zip tie. Give me that zip tie. Thanks. Got our sheath on. Then what we want to grab is our flush cut dikes, not a regular pair of dikes. There is a difference. You get your pair of flush cuts, and it does exactly that. They're designed for cutting zip ties exactly at the end of the clasp. That way you don't go grabbing your torch, grabbing whatever that's got a zip tie on it, and slicing your arm open. We have all done it. Buy the right tool. It's just a little tiny pair of zip ties, and I know somebody's gonna give me crap about it, but go ahead, slice your arms. I don't care. I'm not going to. All right, now let's put this unit on the old Fronius. All of our lines ran, everything hooked up on our CK. We're gonna remove our Fronius. It's really simple. It's just like any other DENS. You just rotate it counterclockwise, pull it out. It doesn't wanna come out. I said, no, pappy. Anyways, all right, so you pull that dude out and unscrew your connector. This is not on the CK because it doesn't have any manual thumb control, so just put your little protective dust boot cover back over that control panel or that control connector on the welder. All of your liquid cooled fittings are going to be quick connect. Just pull those, pop them out. You're gonna lose, I mean, a little bit of water, but not a lot. Take and put your little dust protector on your Fronius, and then we'll take this dude and hang it up on the wall somewhere. You don't want to get rid of these torches. They're really expensive, and they are extremely useful. They've got their application just like the CK does. You know, in my personal opinion, the Fronius is much better for, you know, fixed position type stuff, or, you know, like on the table, on the bench welding. You can do some, you know, a lot of out of position stuff with them, but in my experience, the CK is much better, much more versatile, and a lot smaller, so you can get in tighter areas. So anyways, the Fronius has an integral gas port that's built into the dens. So find that, and then you're gonna, let's see, get it in there. Rotate it until it locks in place. And then you're gonna get your water in, blue, plug it in, water out, red, plug it in, and you're ready to weld. All right, so now that we've got our CK Flex Lock torch installed on our Fronius, I'm gonna get the Fronius turned on. The iWave 230i, it's a really intelligent machine. It connects to Wi-Fi every time it turns on, connects to Bluetooth, so it takes a little bit longer than your other inverter machines do. But as soon as this thing turns on, it's gonna do a purge of the coolant. Since we have a 25-foot hose, it'll probably use, I don't know, it's not gonna use a lot. It might use a 1/10 of a gallon, probably not even a 1/10 of a gallon. I don't know, I'm just talking out of my butt, to be honest with you. I haven't measured it. I don't know how many cc's are going into this thing, but you know what? Maybe we'll do a test on that and find out one day. Today ain't that day. So, this thing's on. Doing its purge. Purge is done. Take a look down here in our coolant tank and see it really didn't move hardly at all. But it is a touch low, so we're gonna add some. This is the coolant that Fronius sent with the machine. I'm sure any welder coolant will work, but I would do whatever your manufacturer says. I'm gonna top this dude off. Check it here. No, we're solid. This is also something you don't have to get this. Whenever you buy these, whenever you buy the Fronius, it doesn't come with a wireless pedal, but these things are super handy. You know, you're not dragging a pedal around, you're not doing anything. It's actually lighter than most corded pedals that I've used, but you just hook that thing up, it connects really quickly, starts working. All right, let's find something to weld. What's really cool about the Flex Lock is you can pull the head off of it. You can have either I don't recall if that's a 9 series, I think so. I'm not super familiar as far as like what's 9 and 17, but you can have a small or a big body head, but they have the same size receiver. So say you had something that was set up for like thick aluminum, you just throw that head on, bolt it on. You want to do something thinner, you just throw your little head on there. For what we're doing today, we're going to keep the little one on because we're going to be doing some thin wall stainless exhaust repair. Let's get our cups out. All right, we're going to be running a BBW on this one today. So we're going to throw in our wedge collet. Get one of these chunks of tungsten that our boy Michael Furick sent to us. Actually, I'm curious to see if we have the right size already. Yep, okay. So we're not gonna run the one that Michael Furick sent us. We're gonna run the Blue Demon Flex Tungsten, Super Flex Tungsten. I like that stuff, it's good. Just thread our adapter in, lock her in solid. Okay, that's the right size. Throw our BBW, big gear on there. Sharpen my tungsten up real quick over on the grinder. My tungsten grinder died in the flood, so we got to do it old school on a little rock wheel. This is not the way to grind your tungsten on a regular basis, but in a pinch, this is a way to do it. You know, you just got to be careful about doing them on stuff like this because it'll get like debris and stuff in the grinding edge, and then that makes for a poor weld. So I had a guy call me yesterday with this, stainless exhaust. Asked me if I could fix these cracks. There's a couple of cracks on the collector where it goes to the cylinder head, or the, I don't know what you call this, the flange where it goes to the cylinder head. So there's a pretty serious crack on one, but he asked me if I would go over all of them again. More than likely what I'll do is I'll go over the two that are cracked from both inside and outside, and I'll go over the three that are not cracked just on the inside. But before we do that, we got to clean these things up pretty good. This is stainless exhaust, so it's got to be like surgical clean. So we're going to take some isopropyl alcohol. Going to take a little wire brush. This thing is only used on non-ferrous metals, except for aluminum. I've got a special stainless brush for aluminum, but so there's no cross-contamination. But so we're going to clean these things up and get them repaired. Yeah, it's pretty wild. I guess they just didn't, whenever they welded this, they didn't get a lot of penetration. It doesn't look like from the collector to the pipe. It also looks like that one's beat up pretty heavily. Just kind of odd. You grab some brake cleaner too. Brake cleaner's in the bottom cap. Oh, right there it is. Buddy. Okay. We're gonna get the trusty Milwaukee drill here. Get a couple of wire brushes. That's pretty good. That's nice. You can really see that crack now. It's pretty serious. That dude. All right, got some 316L stainless. 16ths, that's thin stuff. I like welding with thinner filler wire because you can always add more, but if you've got and you can run less amps to melt it. But if you've got like an 1/8 inch filler wire or a 3/32 filler wire, it's a little bit thicker, takes more amperage to melt it. And sometimes whenever you're working on like 16 gauge stainless, you don't need 3/32 or 1/8 inch because you risk burning through your metal and you risk sugaring it. Put our gear on here. Got some brand new cuffed shockers. Black. These are really nice. I like the forearm guard That's a nice touch. It's got nice pad on the outside. It's got good dexterity. I don't know what this is made of. Probably goat skin, but I'd have to check with Michael and find out. All right, let's see what we can do here. Make sure we got, yep, we're live. Okay.
Flow rate less than 0.4.
All right, so what we found from error code 912 here is that I didn't actually have my quick connect for my coolant plugged in all the way, and it wasn't able to do a full circle purge. It only purged one line and stopped, and it wasn't able to circulate all the way. So we got that fixed, turned the machine off, back on. We're ready to rock and roll. Nope. Okay. I think that's all I needed was a purge. All right, now let's give this thing a shot again. I'll be able to tell as soon as I hit the pedal if it wants to start playing ball. I believe we're in business. Man, I can't tell you how freaking glad I am to have this CK torch on here. Makes a freaking world of difference. That and the Furick Cup. Having a big cup makes a big, big difference on stainless. Sharpened my tungsten up a bit. I accidentally dipped it. All right, Jen. Get your dude in there. All right. Michael Furick wasn't kidding. This is kind of a heavy hood, but it's okay. It'll get your neck ready for going home to mama. does have a crack on there too. Man, that blows. Yeah. Yep. All right, y'all, that concludes the video of our setup of the iWave 230i with our CK torch, flex lock, and setting it up with some Michael Furick cups. You know, we went right into the repair of this the stainless Subaru header. We got everything cleaned, TIG welded, good as new. As always, like, subscribe, comment, stay tuned.